Oh, the blue button came on really quickly there. Today is Thursday, the 15th of February 2018. We have a few other people joining the panel, but so far we have Lev from the UK, Artist from Germany, and we have Lady Co-Pilot. So hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello,
Hello.
lady. Hello, levKungFu. Hello, Karen.
Hello,
Hello,
hello, hello.
everybody in the chat.
Hi,
Yeah,
everyone.
they've been waiting a little bit. Anyway, as I say, we know we're a little bit limited with time with the Lady Co-Pilot because she turns her internet off at about 11, don't you? And you're an hour ahead of me, so we'll probably just talk to her a little bit.
Yeah, the internet goes off at 11.
Yeah. Maybe you could just explain a little bit about how you realised that we were flat. I know, because we
Sure.
talked about it before.
Sure.
Yeah.
It was when I was on Pinterest, because I do a lot of research on big pharma. So I get this controversial things in my interest things at Pinterest. And then I saw this picture. It said, "Is the Earth flat?" And it had a gyroscope. And since we work with gyroscopes in the cockpits, quite a few of them actually, of course, that got my interest. And I clicked on it and started reading, and that was really mind blowing, because I remembered still how the gyroscope works. And I thought, oh my God, why didn't I figure this one out earlier? And I got a little scared. So I read a lot more about it, and watched videos, and yeah, that's how I became a flat earther, actually, just because of Pinterest. And I saw this, "Is the Earth flat?" and with the gyroscope story. Yeah, that's how it went for me.
Was that a bit of a because was that a bit of a shock for you then?
Yeah,
Considering
absolutely. Because I mean, everything that you've been taught, that you can just throw out, and you have to start all over again. I mean, like everybody else, but especially when you're a pilot and you work with maps, and looking outside all the time, and not realizing that it is flat. It never occurred to me. So once I knew it was flat, and I looked outside and said, Jesus, yes, it is. So because we fly at 41,000 feet, and there's really no curve nowhere. So and gyroscopes, of course, do not work on a ball. It's impossible. So yeah.
yeah, because those things are set when you're on the ground, aren't they?
Yeah, you level them on the ground, and then you go fly, and the gyroscope remains rigid in space, so it does not have a gravity sensing mechanism or anything. Although some people say it does not. So yeah, it's like, I think it spins really quickly in gimbals, and it shows the attitude of the aircraft relative to the horizon. So yeah, it doesn't know where the ground is.
And a gyroscope proves we're not moving, doesn't it?
Also, yeah. So if you yeah, they say it has precession. The precession that it shows is just the friction of the gimbals. That's it. And also, when we, let's say, do flights from for 2 hours or so, we never have to adjust the gyroscopes for that. Never. So or for longer flights either. I've never done
Also, they're
that.
not
So
linked into the computers, are they?
excuse me.
they're not. The gyroscope isn't linked to the computers, is it, in the plane? Is that right?
Well, the newest, the one that we are using for the ADI, that one. We do have computers attached to it, but I don't know if you ever heard the story of the guy. I think he was a 777 pilot. I'm not sure. I think it was a 777 pilot who did a interview on.
You mean
I think
Pilots
with
for
Mark.
Truth with 9/11? Is that what you mean?
Sorry.
You mean Pilots for Truth, 9/11, those ones?
No.
Okay.
This was a pilot, and he was flying freight cargo from, let's say, from A to B, and he had problems with the IRSs, and that is, let's say, a computer which tells the gyroscope where you're at. That's what we have been taught. And since he had a clue that it's that the Earth might be flat, and this thing was not working, he called his company and he said, "Well, this thing is not working." They said, "Well, we have to fly it in. It takes I don't know, 12 hours or so." He said, "Well, I don't mind flying, without this, and we can ask air traffic control to give us updates on the heading and everything, and so we will be safe." And of course, the company agreed on that because since there are not passengers involved and everything, they, were willing to take the risk because a 12-hour delay, is not profitable, of course. So they went flying without the IRSs working, and they were fine. They never had to ask air traffic control. So the so that was a confirmation that's and also I think, I'm not sure if that was in the same YouTube video, but the unit which is in the aircraft, it says that only the specialized company can open that unit. So nobody can open it. It's like a black box, but nobody can touch it, and it has the data for the IRSs, let's say. So I think it's just an empty box, but that's why nobody can open it. So, but he proved that you can.
Basically, you could fly without one as well.
Yeah. So you need the gyroscope. Of course, you need the gyroscope because it tells you where the ground is relative to where you were. So you cage it. And that means you set it level on the ground, and then you go fly, and it just keeps its rigidity in space. So it shows you the aircraft's position regarding your position that you started off. It's a little bit difficult to explain, but it's just a reference, let's say. So you cannot fly without the gyroscope, but you can fly without the computer attached to the gyroscope. You understand?
Right.
Yeah.
So what difference does the computer make then, Lady Co-Pilot?
Sorry?
What difference does the computer make?
No, you don't need it. So that was the story with with the box that is in the aircraft, in the electronics bay, where it says that only this specialized company can open it, and it is absolutely useless. You don't need it. And that's what this guy proved with the cargo flights. That's because that thing was not working, and they just flew the whole stretch without. So just the gyroscopes, and it worked fine. And of course, that cannot work on a ball. But we also have a standby gyroscope, and you never have to adjust that. So, and it never, shows anything else than the electronic one. So, yeah, for me, it was within a couple of hours. Yeah, I knew that things were not looking good for the ball.
that damn globe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the other thing that's really hit you about this?
Yeah, the things with the with the atmosphere sticking to the ball, that's also funny because since at higher altitude you would guess that let's say at 10 kilometers the atmosphere would have to spin faster than at the ground, otherwise you would have shears, right? And that's just not the way it goes, and that's never the way you see a smokestack. Let's say on a day without wind, it's just going straight up. So that could never be like that on a globe with it might work if the globe had a glass thing around it and it was all sealed in, and then you turn it, then it might work, but not the way they say it. No way. So there's no yeah, in flat earth there might be a dome, but not on the globe. There's no dome. So yeah, that was also a big thing, that the atmosphere spins at the speed of sound at the equator. That's impossible.
Yeah, also I put a little video out at the weekend myself about planes passing each other basically at the same speed, without one would have to be going with the rotation and one would be going against it, and they pass each other the same.
Yeah. That's there are so many things that cannot work on a ball. So it's like, yeah, they all made these great videos on it, and I really cannot believe that anybody who is genuinely interested can still believe in the globe. I mean, I forgot her name, but I watched her video a couple of days ago. She made a nice picture of the globe to show, in the 4 seasons that it turns allegedly around the sun. And of course, you have the sun in the middle then in the heliocentric model. And then, of course, the side that is facing the sun is always daylight, and the side that is facing away from the sun is night. So in 4 seasons, you would always see different stars because you're just at such a different part of the universe that it would be impossible to see the same things, and also to see Polaris always at the same place, exactly above the North Pole. And also the star trails. And there's this guy, he did some really good things on the zigzag theory, that you would see the sun going from left to right, right to left, if you were on a globe and going up and down. Because yeah, well, I cannot really explain, but you can he has this really cool video, lots of them actually, on this topic, and it really makes sense. You cannot see the sun going around you on a heliocentric model.
Yeah, and also, what would it be like landing the plane on a ball going round and round?
Yeah, that's what they did also. Yeah, I think you should, you know, they say it sticks to the ball because of the gravity. So that's always what I have been taught, of course. So then there would be no problem. But there is no gradual difference in speed um, closer to the ground and going up. So it's just not working. I think
But
Brian
if
Mullen did some great videos on that too. I think a couple of people mirrored him because he's not on anymore. But like when you would fly over the North Pole, you know, it would change direction. So that's also kind of strange, you know.
but I'm asking if it was spinning,
Yeah.
would you be able to land the plane?
That's a good question, but it would only be if the atmosphere is really stuck to the ball, you know. Then there would be then you would not notice it. But you know, if it was really, you know, like the atmosphere is moving with the Earth, but it cannot. I mean, we all know that it's not moving because of the Michelson and Morley experiments and the what's the other guy's name? It's not moving. It's just not. So
Thank you for clarifying that, Lady Co-Pilot.
yeah, you're welcome.
Could I just say that Artist is having some computer problems and he can't get back on this Hangout for some reason,
Oh,
which is
that's
not very good. He was on and off if you saw, but SKYFLY has joined us. Hello, SKYFLY.
Hello, everyone.
He's from the UK as well. He does, you can see he does, what is that you've got there? Is it, it's not
in the UK, it's called a microlight.
Microlight.
Ultralight in the America. It's a light aircraft, basically.
I've been in one.
Sorry, I missed that. Say again, Karen, sorry.
No, Lydia did. Lydia, carry on.
Yeah, I have been in one of those skylights. It's kind of scary because you can just look through your legs down to the ground. That was really scary.
That's the good thing about it. It's great for photography.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Unfortunately, the modern ones go so fast that you can't get clear pictures because you're going like 80, 90 miles an hour.
Wow.
When I first started back in the 80s, they only used to fly like 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So if you're going into wind, it's like a 15-mile-an-hour wind. You've got a ground speed of 35. So, well, no, 25. Sorry, 25. If it's 40, you obviously take the wind off, and that's the whole problem. I can't see how this, you know, this silly force spinning and that going round, and then, you know, it technically, if it was spinning and the air wasn't moving with it, and if it is moving with it, how does it work? So, you know, if you took off and then went up in the air, an hour later, the Earth has apparently turned 15 degrees, so you'd be 69 miles to the west.
Correct. Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense. Okay, they say the atmosphere moves with the Earth. Now, I can't see how that works, because when you look at a lake on a still day when there's no wind, there's no ripples in the water, there's nothing. The only time you get ripples in the water is when the wind's blowing.
Yeah, and also all the experiments that have failed. So it's not going around, or it's just not.
What's that other guy you were thinking about? Morley, the Morley experiment. I can't remember.
Michelson and Morley, yeah.
That's it,
Yeah.
Hello, Stan.
Hey, there's Stan Smith. He'll be on in a second.
Hi, hello everyone.
Hi.
Hello there, Stan. How
I was
are
just
you?
listening. That was some good chat then.
Thank you, Stan. Yeah, so we kind of have two pilots here, then, don't we, really?
Yeah, I've been doing it since 1987. I've been flying thousands of hours in the air, and
Wow.
I know I've never met Stan personally, but I know he lives on the Isle of Wight, and because he does all the 360 camera stuff, which is really great. And I fly over the Isle of Wight all the time because I live just across the water from there. And I wanted to take him up once, but then the weather was bad. And
Yeah, we will have to do that someone though.
oh yeah, definitely, Stan. I'll do that.
Yeah, I'm up for it.
You probably the best thing you can do is come to Sandown Airfield and meet me there.
Yeah.
But with flying, it depends on the day. Weather changes and plans change very quickly.
Bit like being at sea.
Yeah, tomorrow I hope to go flying tomorrow. Actually, it looks nice. Bit cold, but anyway. Sorry, I'll let you carry on, mate. I'll go to mute and I'll listen to you.
Oh, that's okay. I don't think I could do it for the height issue. If I could see the ground through my legs, that would be it for me.
It's really scary.
I'd be going, I want to get off. I want to get off.
What you were saying about gravity, though, think of this with gravity: 10 kilos or 100 kilos or whatever weight it is the same weight no matter where it is on Earth.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, like the centrifugal force, right?
Yeah, so if you've got rotation on a ball,
Yeah.
it doesn't like this. It doesn't work.
No, because at the equator you would have to have a bigger force than at the poles.
Yeah. So at the poles, if it was the same force, you wouldn't be able to walk. You'd just be stuck to the ground. There's no throw outwards. There's no rotation.
No, you wouldn't be able to walk because if the gravity is all everywhere the same, then
So yeah, that's 10 kilos is 10 kilos no matter where you are.
Yeah. So we didn't get an education, we just got brainwashed. And I think that's so also because I turned vegan now for a couple of months. And because they say, yeah, milk is good for you. And I already was a vegetarian for, I don't know how many years, since I was 14. But I did eat cheese, of course. I'm from Holland. So, I ate, I drank yogurt or ate yogurt, not milk because I didn't like that. But I just watched this video on veganism, and I think we should all, watch it. I can give you the link if you like, because we're all taught that we are omnivores, but we really are not.
No, we don't have the teeth for that, do we?
We don't have the teeth, we don't have the intestines, we don't have the psychology. I mean, we don't have the taste buds for protein on our tongue. We are made to eat fruit, fructivores, and herbs and vegetables. So yeah, because when we see a small animal, we don't think, easy prey. We think, oh, that's so cute. And we are just taught that we need to eat those things, but it's killing us. It's really killing us. So it rots away in our intestines because we don't have the digestive system. Our stomach is, I think, pH 5, and if you look at a carnivore, their pH level is a 1 or 2 or so. It's more acidic. So we don't have the digestive system to break all those proteins down and to digest it. So it rots away in our guts. And that's really not good. So, and it's really, for the animals, it's awful. I mean, the way they're treated, it's, oh my God. It's awful. I found it. It's called Best Speech You Will Ever Hear. Number 2, Go Vegan. That's what it's called. And I think everybody should watch it because if not for yourself, then do it for the animals, I guess. But that's just my story.
Thank you for that, Lady Co-Pilot. I saw one the other day about milk, and it was saying basically there's blood and there's pus. There's just about everything in milk. It almost turned me off milk myself. But in a sense,
and there are so many good substitutes. I mean, you don't have to crave anything, because all the things that you're used to eat now you can eat, but then on plant-based. So yeah.
There is a question for you in the chat room. It says, ask about the phenomena of air pockets and what the effect would be last air pocket in the atmosphere before they got to space.
Air pockets, yeah. It's just when air is heated, it rises up, and if you fly through it, it just has another density. So that's how you get the turbulence, and you also get turbulence from different wind speeds. But going to space, I think it's just because I think gravity is not existing. It's just that all the molecules of the densest molecules are on the ground, and then as you go up there's just left like helium and neon and argon and all those lighter than air molecules that are up there. So
and that was a question from John Watson there. So yeah, I've asked now. Do you think that you've learned a lot more about like being a mini scientist now?
You're asking me?
Have you learned a lot more about things now than you would have done if you didn't realize?
Oh my God. Yeah, I finally think that I'm starting, to get a little bit of an education now that the of the internet and of everybody that's doing the research and sharing it with everybody. I mean, I feel betrayed. And I think I've learned so many things. It started all off with the vaccines and everything, and with health food and things like that. And then with all the other conspiracies, and I've read so many books about it, and now with flat Earth, I mean, it's just a tip of the iceberg because we've been lied about so many things. It's incredible.
If you'd known all this before, would you have actually been a co-pilot or not?
Wow. Well, it depends. I mean, if everybody knew, of course, then because then it would be it would not have made a difference, because if everybody knows you're on a flat plane, then sure. But if nobody knew except for me, I don't think I would have been a pilot, because it's already hard now for me, and I think for everybody. I mean, to be around people that don't know what you know, and that makes it difficult. So if you have to go through the whole education or the course to become a pilot, and to be the only one knowing these things, and if you have to keep quiet because otherwise they will think you're a nut or whatever, I mean, that would be impossible. It's difficult as it is already, and then being the odd one out to know, the only one to know that it's flat and nobody knows. No.
So it must be a pretty safe place to live if they're not telling the truth. You're not including being on a flat plane and that kind of stuff, and then you're flying, but they're pretending we're on a ball. So it must be pretty safe then. Pretty sort of, what do you call it? Things obviously can't be moving because they're not teaching you. It's like you're flying around in something completely different. Do you see what I mean? So it must be pretty safe, mustn't it?
Well, it depends on which way you look at it, because now I don't feel safe because I might lose my job. So I don't feel that safe now, actually, knowing these things and speaking out on it. And but and if you don't know any better, it doesn't make any it doesn't make any
Sort of any difference at the moment?
for at the moment it does, because um you feel the odd one out, right? So but the flying itself isn't any safer or less safe. It's just whether you fly over a ball or over a plane, you still have to do your thing as a pilot. So that doesn't really matter. Is that what you mean, or?
Well, I've kind of lost thread now because you've been talking. But is there? Do you feel like you're one of the only ones that's like? Is there lots of people like you, or just there's not many like you really? There's just one or two who are noticing it.
Yeah, I met only two. So and those were not in my company, and I think everybody in the company that I work for thinks that I'm a total nut. So for believing this. But the thing is, if they would, that's what I always tell everybody. If you have an opinion on it, better have an opinion that is, based on something, not assumptions, not the education that you had. Just look at it just for a weekend, and it doesn't take any more than that, just a weekend. And then
It is crazy how some of us are waking up or realizing, and then there's just so many who just don't care, don't want to know.
Yeah. They say, what does it matter? I say, yeah, I can imagine that you say that. What does it matter? But for me, if you have done so many years of research on so many topics, this all binds it together. So for me, it's just clear. But to people who know nothing and just watch the news and think that's what's going on in the world, yeah, of course they're just struggling, to stay alive and pay the bills, and don't have time to dig in or don't want to dig in. I don't know. It's just too far-fetched maybe for them. They say, yeah, what does it matter? Yeah, okay, well.
Can I ask you something? I put this video out on the Facebook group, and it was about this person. I mean, obviously you must need fuel to take off.
Yeah.
And maybe fuel to land. But this person was wondering whether aeroplanes actually use compressed air.
Yeah, we use compressed air from the engines. So you in the 737, when you in the newer ones, where you are on the runway and you let's say hit the gas, so you put the thrust levers forward, then the airplane, you can feel it in your ears, is pressurizing. So the compressed air from the engines, there's a bleed valve, and it's brings the compressed air to the air conditioning system, because it will be too hot when it comes straight from the compressed air from the engines. So it goes through a cooling cycle, and then it comes into the cabin. And so when you give gas, let's say, so you put the thrust levers forward and you take off, then the aircraft pressurizes, and it needs to be, otherwise you will be unconscious, and so will we, during the flight, because there will not be enough pressure at 12 kilometers of height when you fly. So you need to take the air off the engines to keep the plane pressurized, and so that you can breathe normally during the flight. Is that the answer?
Well, they were just wondering, this person, whether this is how aeroplanes actually fly. They actually fly because of the compressed air, not because of the fuel.
No,
it's not fuel.
you use the fuel to just like in your car to make a combustion. The only thing is you press it afterwards. You don't press it, against the air. You accelerate it backwards to the off of the rotor scoops. You call it rotor blades. So they accelerate afterwards, and the action reaction is that you move forward. So you use the fuel to combust, and the combustion is backwards, so you move forward. That's the way it goes.
Yeah, Karen, what Lady Copilot is saying is the engines are used to thrust the aircraft through the air to generate lift from the wings, but the compressed air is merely to keep the cabin pressure at a ratio of 10,000 feet in the aircraft that comes from the engines, generated by the engines.
There's a guy in there enslaved by no media. That's what you're saying about, Karen. He's saying that the engines don't run on as much fuel as what they're claiming, and they're running on more of like a compressed air, like a turbo. Have you seen any of them videos? Enslaved by no media.
Yeah, they're jet engines, aren't they?
But what he's saying is that the weight of the fuel couldn't be in the wings, without them breaking off, and just.
And there's no room in the actual bottom of the plane for like tons and tons of, or gallons and gallons of fuel. There isn't the space for this amount of fuel that they say that they use. So he was wondering whether.
There is 2 tanks on most of the modern commercial aircraft, and they are actually inside the wings.
Yeah, and one in the center. We have a center tank also. So in the 727, you have 3 tanks. One left wing, one right wing, and one center.
When you're flying, do you feel the weight of that fuel when you lift up compared to when you land? Does the plane feel a lot lighter? Like a car, if you fill it up with fuel, you can feel it, or a motorbike?
Well, I don't feel it in my car, and I don't feel it in the plane.
You don't?
No, because you have this trim system, and you have to. It's like a balance step. It's on the end of the elevator. So if you, it all depends on where the center of gravity is in the plane. So you do feel it when everybody's sitting, in front of the center of gravity or behind of the center of gravity. And since that is very important, we always,
set your trims.
Set the trim, yeah. So that's important. And of course, you cannot be too heavy for your aircraft. And so that's always also measured, all the weights. The weight and balance is a very critical thing when you want to fly.
Is that all information that would be public? Could we get a copy of the weights?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we get everything. That's what we need to put in the computers when we because then it computes for us how much thrust we will need for the takeoff, and at which speeds we can rotate, and which speeds we can fly away, and at which speed we can still safely stop on the runway. All very important speeds. So and that all depends on the weight. So and on the length of the runway, of course. So that are things that we always know before we go.
What about when you land? Do you have to do a weight after you land, or is that not needed?
We calculate the speeds at which we have to land, by the amount of wind that we will encounter during landing, and also of course, the weight of the aircraft, because if you fly too slow for the weight, you will fall down. So you have to fly. The heavier you are, the faster you have to fly.
Yeah. Excellent.
You also have to factor in headwinds and tailwinds, that you don't know what's going to happen on the flight. So
yeah, we do know. Yeah, because there's this thing. It's called ATIS.
Oh, ATIS, yeah. But it's not always 100%.
Well, it's quite accurate, especially at the airport where we are. You even get, on finals sometimes when the wind is like really critical. You get a wind from the tower. They say it again, like when it's almost your crosswind limit, or when it's your tailwind limit. Because
you've also got other factors like traffic as well. Like Heathrow's so busy, you might have to do like 5 orbits before you join finals.
Yeah. You're really happy with air traffic control there, because those people are very good at Heathrow. They're amazing. So I would not want to trade with those people.
all the calculations are done, aren't they, on the ground and prior to the flight, and that it's all pretty good stuff. There's obviously a reserve put in there. I remember that plane crash that happened a few years back, and they used the wrong figures. They used US gallons instead of UK gallons, which are different. And they didn't uplift enough fuel or something stupid, and it ran out of fuel in flight.
Yeah, I think it was a 777, wasn't it?
I can't remember, but I remember the story, but I just can't remember the details.
Yeah, I'm not good at those things to remember either.
No, I forget stuff. And
I don't like to remember crashes.
I suppose the bit as well is that the actual wings, they don't walk on them because they're that fragile. So it's amazing that they can carry gallons and gallons of fuel in them.
Yeah, but it's just the weight is going. I think you can walk on that, but that's it's made of aluminium, of course, and if you stand on it with a lot of people, then it might bend and it destroys your airflow, right? So an aircraft can fly because of the nice air flowing over the
airfoil.
Airfoil, yeah, over the top of the wing. Yeah, so if you step on it and you make a dent in it, then you destroy the lift. So that's why you cannot walk on it. But
it just seems incredible. But that's really delicate. Yeah, it's got gallons and gallons of fuel in it.
Yeah, but it is fortified, in the inside. You understand? So, and also if you suck on a straw, and that's just the pressure difference between the top of the wing and beneath the wing. It's just not that much pressure difference. So, but it's since the wings are so huge, then you have, of course, this big surface in total, which can carry the aircraft. So, but the difference in pressure is not that much. It's just the difference when you suck on a straw. That's the only difference in pressure.
Right. Well, you clarified a few things there, because this person put out that they just didn't. They were showing you the inside of a plane. They were going, where are the tanks? There's the engine. And they were just wondering whether compressed air was what really was flying the aeroplane. So it wasn't that he maybe didn't use fuel to take off, but generally it was the compressed air that was actually making the aeroplane fly when it's up there. So they're just lying to us, basically.
Okay. The engine has a high bypass ratio. It means not so much is going through the core of the engine. Lots of air is just accelerated. How do you say that? Not through the core of the engine, but on the sides. You understand? Just around it. And yeah, maybe that's too technical, whatever.
I think the easiest way to answer that question is the weight when the plane takes off, i.e. that tells you what's in it, how much load it's carrying for fuel, passengers, and then when it lands, before it's unloaded, what it weighs. And that'll tell you if it's got...
I don't think that was the question, though, but I don't know. I don't really understand the question, maybe.
Well, it's the claim, like Enslaved by No Media, it's a YouTube channel, and he's claiming that they don't have the fuel that they're claiming they have.
Well, that would be strange because, well, they've been lying about lots of things, so you don't know. But that means that the guy that is putting, the gallons of fuel inside the wings has also a meter in his truck that is not correct. So that would be, I mean, of course it can be. I don't know, because it might also be that they put something in the fuel that is not, just only fuel, but some more stuff. I don't know. But for me, I don't think so. I think it's maybe they are doing it now, because the fares of the flights are going so low. I mean, it's more expensive to take the train than to take a plane to your destination almost. So where are they getting the money from? So it might be that they put something in the fuel. I don't know. But that's just a wild guess, and we don't know these things. So
That's why I say if you weighed it before you took off, you knew the weight of the plane. And then when it lands, if you know the weight of the plane when it's landed, you'll know how many tons of fuel or whatever's been used.
Of course we know that. I mean, it happens all the time. So, yeah.
So that's what I say. If you just add them two bits of information, that'd answer that straight away. That there is something being used or there isn't.
Yeah, of course there is. I guess.
Well, yeah,
I
would presume there is, but
it
does make you wonder if there is the amount that they say there is on them planes. But there could well be. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the only thing I can see is that.
Yeah, I've watched them fueling how they refuel a plane and stuff, and they have. It's like you say, they've got a little digital readout going. It tells them how many
we get
gallons.
the readouts. We get the same readouts in the plane. We put it in a computer because we get it in liters, and of course we need kilos because that's how we work. We work with kilos in the aircraft. So,
Just be interested. Just have a look next time you're going, just to see how many kilos are actually in there.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I've done this work for 23 years. So I know. Yeah. I don't understand what he means. It's just if you take 5,000 kilos and you fly for 1 hour, then there will be 2,500 kilos will be gone. And that's what you will see after 1 hour flight, because that's more or less what you will burn in an hour. So you will land with 2,500 kilos because you took 5,000 and you flew for 1 hour, and then now 2,500 kilos are gone. So that's what I've been seeing, the past 23 years. So.
Right.
So it's about 25,000 kilos of fuel for an hour.
No, 2,500. So we take 5,000 and you take 2,500. Did I say 25,000? I'm sorry.
No, sorry, that was me. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. I can do those things also. I can, but no, it's if you go fly for an hour, you take about 5,000 because you always need some fuel, to go to your alternate airport when something is wrong at your destination airport. So you need some contingency fuel. So you will land with about 2,000 kilos or so. Depends also.
Sounds a lot. Sounds a lot.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. Yeah, they're
Can
not.
I just say that I know that you're only going to be on for about another 10 minutes because your
Time flies.
internet's gonna shut off. Could I just very quickly, you are someone who is like anti-chemtrails, aren't you?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, I didn't see any chemtrails today though. Yesterday there was this clear day the whole day, and then at the end of the day, I was so happy because the whole day I was so happy because I didn't see any chemtrails, and that then at the end of the day they started when I was on my bike and I was looking up. I thought, oh my God, now they're starting, and they started indeed at sunset. In the west. So I thought it was interesting. So then they started late in the afternoon. They started chemtrailing.
Lady Co-Pilot, I've got a question for you. Do you believe the chemtrails are laid by commercial aircraft or purposely aircraft that are purposely up there to put chemtrails out?
I think it's the U.S. military, but that's just my opinion. It's not really of course, we don't know these things, but I don't think that in my plane that when I fly somewhere that I make some chemtrails. But of course, I'm not 100% sure, because how can you be sure? I mean,
no, because it's not your aircraft, is it? It's the aircraft you're flying for a company. But I don't think commercial aircraft do actually produce chemtrails. I think they may produce contrails when the temperatures are right at certain heights. And as a pilot myself, I know where the flight lanes are where I live, and I know there is no flight lanes east of my house, but I've seen chemtrails there. So I'm thinking them aircraft shouldn't be there at 28,000 feet, putting in big lines in the sky, because there's no flight lanes there.
Yeah, you can also see the difference, but and also when you look on YouTube and you can see some pilots turning it on and turning it off. Of course, I have no such thing in my aircraft, so for sure I don't have any controls about for that. So no, I don't think commercial aircraft are equipped with chemtrail things. But as I said again, the flights are getting very cheap now. Where is the money coming from to get that done? So they might, some evil people might say, well, you have to use our fuel, and that fuel might be, contaminated with some stuff. I don't know, but I think it's just military aircraft that are flying.
That's just A1 jet fuel, isn't it? You use in them aircraft.
Yeah.
Not avgas. That's for the right aircraft.
Yeah, that's for the small aircraft. Yeah.
So I can't see how it could have changed that much since the 70s. Back in the 70s, an aircraft would fly over, you would see a contrail from it, and it'd dissipate after a few minutes, and then completely disappear. But looking at Stan's videos, he does great videos. He does 24/7 videos of the sky above his house.
Yeah.
You can see the chemtrails coming in, and they spread out, and they don't look like any cloud. They look like chemtrails to start with, but they spread out and they linger and they stay.
They linger, yeah.
You can always tell the
all the
difference.
fallout, it's like when you photograph it's like a wave, because it's, I don't know, it falls down like a curtain or so.
I made up a filter to put on a camera, and it filters them out. I used a green and a red filter on the camera, and when you take a picture of the sky, you can actually see the chemtrails, because the beryllium and the aluminium foils they put in that stuff.
Yeah. And I read the other day that Monsanto is because they are having these Terminator seats, right? And now they have a patent on seats that are aluminium proof. So there goes your proof, actually, that chemtrails do exist. Because otherwise, why would Monsanto get a patent on seeds that are aluminium proof? So, and Monsanto is one of the, now we all know, the worst companies ever. So,
It's a really big thing, isn't it? And, we don't know much about it. We will learn more about it eventually. But they do spray valerium from aircraft, whether they're commercial aircraft or purposely put up there to spray.
yeah.
We don't know because we can't see them, they're too far up. But they definitely spray, and they're spraying more regularly. Some days they don't spray at all. I remember when that volcano erupted in Iceland.
Yeah, there was nothing.
2009. Was it 2009, 2010? I can't remember.
Yeah.
And all the aircraft were banned, but because I'm a microlight pilot, I can fly anyway.
Yeah.
And we flew, and it's the bluest sky I've ever seen since the 70s.
Yeah. So they didn't dare to fly either, the military aircraft. They were scared.
The engines and all the crap might go in the engine.
Yeah.
I've got photos from it as well. I don't think I had video back then because it was too early for video.
Yeah.
This video I found yesterday, and he was sort of proving, I also put that on the Sun and Moon group, the Facebook group. They've been sort of doing this for 50 years.
Wow.
They done it in Vietnam, didn't they? It's called Agent Orange.
Agent Orange, yeah.
It's spraying poison over Vietnam.
Yeah, that was Monsanto who made that, right?
I don't know, but so I believe
Monsanto made Agent Orange, and they're merged with Bayer from Germany. So we're all screwed, actually.
It's so bad putting metals in the sky and we're breathing them in. So bad.
Yeah, it's depressing, I think.
Lady Coco.
Sorry, Stan.
A lot of people have said that you can tell it's a globe because they go on holiday, and when they come back, it's a shorter flight. What would you say to those people?
Could you please say that again? Because I could hardly hear you.
A lot of people say that when they've gone on holiday and they come back home, it's been a shorter flight. It didn't take as long to get back home. And they say that proves a globe. And, is that a myth, or what would you say to that?
I'm really sorry, but you have to say it again. But maybe somebody can translate it, because you talk too fast for me. I cannot hear what you're saying.
It's what he's saying. People go on holiday, and when they come back, the flight seems quicker. But that happens in car journeys, doesn't it? In coach journeys. I think it's just perspective of time.
No. It doesn't have anything to do with the globe. It's got to do with the winds. So you have the jet streams, and like when you're going west, you fly against the wind, and when you come back, you fly with the wind, or just the other way around. Depends, actually, because now everything is screwed up. But so that's sometimes an hour difference in a flight when you fly, let's say, from the UK to the United States. It can differ easily for 1 hour, and that's just because of the favorable or unfavorable winds. It's got nothing to do with the globe turning. No way.
No, he's a flat earther, but he's just saying that's what people say. So he just wanted you to confirm it.
Yeah. No, I know you're a flat earther, but no, that's really got nothing to do with the globe. It's just with the favorable winds.
Yeah, I've experienced. Sorry.
But I tell people jet streams, but they don't take my word for it, because I'm not part of the.
Well, there are meteorological sites where they can just check it out and look at the main winds, and if it blows, on your nose. I mean, everybody knows that if you have to do some groceries and you take your bike and you have headwind, it takes longer to get there. And then if you go back home and you have tailwind, then you are there very fast.
What did you think to the flight videos of Flat Earth?
What is that again?
I like. I went to America when I was younger, and flew from Manchester and landed in New York.
Yeah.
So we were surprised that we didn't just go straight across the Atlantic. But when we looked out a window and you look at the map, it shows you that we go over Greenland to get there, which is quite north. Which is
you go north, right? That's what you mean.
the route, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the
you're
thing
on-
is, with Flat Earth, we don't know really yet what the map looks like, right? So we have to
No.
figure that one out. So, and we have been told that we fly, and of course we can check that. We fly this route because the wind is the headwinds are south of us, so we fly more north to avoid the jet stream that is heads on. And when you fly back, you fly the southern routes to catch the winds. So to catch the jet stream. So it's and yeah, I mean, we've all seen the maps of Flat Earth, but they're not so good. So they need to be figured out still. But yeah, with team effort, we might come to a good reasonable map.
I find it really weird that Mexico is only 5 hours away, and yet New York is 6 in time difference.
Mexico is only 5 hours?
Yeah. I just think that's really weird. Mexico is 5 hours. We have Robert, who lives in Mexico. He's an American, but he lives in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
He's only 5 hours difference.
Well, the thing is,
in New York is 6.
With America, with South America is quite east of North America. So there you have, your time difference. But I didn't know it was only 5 hours. That's not so much. Because it's...
Yeah. I've got this feeling that you're just going to disappear in a minute, Lady Co-Pilot.
Oh, yeah. It might be, yeah. It was nice talking to you all. Thank you.
Yeah. You turn yours off at a certain time, don't you, your internet?
Yeah, it goes by itself. So, yeah. I asked my son, to turn it off at a certain time, because then we don't have any, Wi-Fi going through the house when we sleep. It's more relaxed.
Yeah, that's good for you as well.
Yeah.
You're very conscious of all these things, aren't you?
Yeah, I think every thing that we can do to remain healthy is, at least I want to do that. So, yeah.
Well, I know you're going to go in a moment, so we'll email each other and speak next week.
Yeah, great. Yeah, that would be nice. Okay,
and
everybody.
thank you so much.
Yeah,
thank you so much for coming on and explaining a bit more.
Go, Lady Co-Pilot. Can you tell me what sort of routes you fly? Where to and from?
Sure. It's all within Europe. I just fly the 737. It's all within Europe. So.
737. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So obviously you're based in Holland, so you go Holland and to Belarus or whatever, and Latvia and around that area.
Well, to Spain and Italy and the UK and Germany and Denmark,
Poland.
Norway, Poland. Yeah.
What about Norway? Have you been to Norway during the summer where you got like 24 hours of light?
I've been to Helsinki.
That's quite low down, isn't it?
Yeah, and I've seen that it will not, turn dark in the summer. But I was not a flat earther then, so I did not, did not look out of the window. Also, because when we fly back from Helsinki to Amsterdam, our calling time is 2:00 at night, and you want to catch all the sleep that you can. So,
do you ever go down to the equator that far down?
yeah, I've been also on the MD-11, and been south of the equator also. Yeah.
Okay. And have you ever seen stars at night in the aircraft when you're flying?
Yeah, I've seen them too.
You've seen stars, and what about the sun and when it sets and that, and based on the setting time on the ground, has it been viewable how many hours after?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, obviously the sun sets, doesn't it, on the ground? But
Yeah.
if you're flying, you're much higher up, so you will still see the sun. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So when you take off at sunset and you start flying, you can see it again. Yeah.
So how high would you say you got to go before you can see it again fully? Assuming it's set on the ground.
Oh my God, that I really don't know.
Can you try and get some video footage, please?
Yeah, could you take a 360 camera up there?
If
No,
they
just
let
get a
me-
GoPro and stick it on the dashboard. And
No,
that.
you want a Samsung Gear. That's
Well,
what you want.
maybe
they're
Pilot
about
Alex can do that for you because he's still flying.
Who's that?
Pilot Alex, maybe he can do it.
But even just like flying from one airport to the other airport and doing like a time lapse where you get like a photo every minute.
That's what we want. Time lapse 360.
Yeah.
Sun, moon, whatever.
Well,
you can get,
360
really.
the captain won't work, would it, Stan? Because
Well, it'd work. It'd
One out
give
there.
us an idea anyway.
you see
It'd
the
be
pilot.
nice to have one outside, but we're settled for anything.
No, I just think a dash cam footage would be great.
Yeah, just put your 360 camera right up against the window.
Lady co-pilot, would you, obviously with the GoPro, I've got a GoPro and I've been flying loads of times. It all looks very bendy, but when you look with your eyes, it's very flat, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's flatter than flat, and I'm ashamed that I didn't see it before.
Especially when you go above the clouds and that, you like the cloud bases might be 6,000-7,000 feet, and you go above there and it's all flat, and the sun's up there, it's sunny. Below the clouds, it's all like misty and murky and that.
Yeah, it's just all flats. I mean, because we can see about 270 degrees from the
Cockpit, yeah.
cockpit, and it's 270 degrees of flatness.
And you've also got the high clouds, like the cirrus clouds, like at 28,000 feet, or whatever. So they'd be below you if you're flying at 30,000 feet, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
I actually think the clouds are very low nowadays, to be honest. Maybe not all of them, but a lot of the clouds seem very low in the sky.
Well, they're all different levels, Karen. They can be from, fog is cloud, but they can be from ground level up to 20. Well, no, you've got the new clouds now, haven't they? I don't know what they called. I can't remember now.
The clouds can even go, up to 40,000 feet.
Yeah, that's something like that. Yeah, I can't remember what they called.
And those are not the clouds that we want to fly through, let's say, because those are cumulus clouds and it's really turbulent in those. So we always avoid flying through those.
Not Plumas, no, that's lower. No, they've got another name. I can't remember it. What's it called? I did know it. No, cumulus clouds and cumulus nimbus clouds, they may get up to 37,000 feet.
Yeah.
Cumulus nimbus, which is like the big thunder clouds.
Yeah. Absolutely.
There's another one. There's another cloud. They redefined clouds, didn't they, recently? And gave them all new names, and they even included chemtrails in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And they gave them names.
Okay. Well, people, I have to go because also my alarm goes at 6. So and that's within 7 hours from now. So
That's been great talking to you. Thank you for coming on.
yeah, thank you
Thank
too,
you.
everybody. You're welcome,
Yeah.
Karen, and thank you too.
Sleep well.
Thanks. Good
I
night.
will.
Take
I'll
care.
email you. But thank you. Thank you so much. Big flat Earth hugs.
Yeah, we will. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Ooh, yeah. Anyway, nice to see you again, Stan.
Yep, and you?
I get really paranoid that I'm going to say her name all the time because I know her name and she's not allowed to say her name.
Yeah, don't say her name.
Oh, golly, I think I did once, but anyway, it was better than last time. I've said it quite a few times. You just don't mean to because I say people's names, like I will say Lev, Skyfly, Stan. I say your names. I know her name. Anyway, just to let everybody know that she's still grounded. So that's why she can't actually put a camera in because of her beliefs. Which we know are the truth, but yeah, she's grounded right now. And yeah.
Oh, it'd be good if she
Or-
can, put a camera up there. Like I say, whatever we could get with a 360 from altitude would be grateful.
Yeah, anyway, Stan, you've come on. It's been a little while. You've got a new puppy. How is she?
Little puppy. She keeps me busy.
She looks like you want to eat her. Stan
She's
sent
a
me some
kitty.
pictures of her. She looks really lovely.
Yeah. She's a little weasel. But yeah. Here to talk about some 360s.
Yeah, you've come on today. If you give me like which email, write it in you see the chat on the side of here, don't you?
Yeah.
On the actual Hangout. If you put your email in there, then I can send it into the chat room because you want hopefully people in this chat room watching become a bit more interested in 360 and then can get in touch with you. Yes?
Yeah. And we do P900. We've got like a little club going now where we all sync the moon and the sun, and we use the P900s, get out and use them, put them to good use.
I bet you didn't get a shot of the moon today, Stan. It's a new moon.
Yeah, not today. I did get the sun today though.
I saw you post yesterday. I think the sun was visible. Sorry, not the sun, the moon. At 6:17 in the morning, briefly, if it wasn't cloudy. Just a sliver of it.
A little tiny bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. You won't get it. I doubt you'll get it now for the next day or,
Well, about 4 days probably.
Yeah, next few days. I'll keep looking, keep thinking, right, it's about there, but why can't I see it? But yeah, I'll get it. As soon as I see it, I'll be filming it. And so we'll...
There's the email here, Karen.
I think that's right.
I've started getting Proxy's videos.
Sorry, my daughter just came back. I was just saying a word to her. Sorry, what was the question? Sorry, I just had to go just for a second. What was the question?
Sorry.
Oh, right, cool. Yeah, I'll put that out. So, Stan, do you want to tell people then what you're kind of looking for, or hopefully what people can be interested in? And obviously, I look at some of your stuff anyway, and I just think it's amazing, and I love your videos, all that work with the headset and stuff like that. Let's put your picture on. There you go.
Well, we put up 360s and do stuff with them because they show what's there, and then you can model it in virtual reality and so on and work out what's going on and distances, and you're gonna have to, it needs simulating to work it out basically, and that's what we're doing with these cameras. We're looking at what is actually there, what is going on, and then from there making models of it to work out how it's working. And this is the tracking of the moon from my roof. This is one thing we've done with the cameras is, yeah, I'll just leave it up. Still going now, even today. It's been going for over a year now. Just sat there on the roof day after day. And what this is like a composite of 14 days time lapse. Each one of these is an evening's track of the moon, and it tracks, you know, in 14 days it'll come from the northern scan line to the southern, and then back, you know, 14 days it'll go back. So over a month, well, 28 days, goes from top to bottom. But it does this. These lines will fit wherever you are. This is how the ancients used to use the sky as a navigator. You know, when they were navigating, they always had their timepiece set at a certain time, and they had their astrolabe, and they'd look to the sky. So
Can I just ask a question, Stan?
Yep.
Those little faint lines at the top, like orange and green and that, and red.
These
ones. No, the ones in the middle circle. Them ones, yeah, that's them ones. Is that the moon as well? But they're not picking up as much light.
Yeah, the moon's there. You know, that's the tracks of the moon, the paths. If I kept overlaying and overlaying and overlaying over time, you'd see.
So we got them big bright white lights. That's where it's like
that is the actual
more full.
Yeah, if I
so when it's dimmer,
that is the moon.
That's
the path of the moon. If you watch the videos that I've, you know, this is all. You know, I think there's 15-minute intervals in between each snap of the moon from each video.
So looking at the bottom of the picture, you've got that blue line, yellow line, and there's like 3 little blobs on that bottom blue line.
Yeah, that's the moon.
Yeah. So that's the moon, but the blue line is part of it as well, is it? That's
the track it would take. That's the path. You know, these are the paths of the moon, because this is, you know, this is South Africa, Cape Town.
Oh, that C Proxy's done them ones in.
He's done the work on them, and you know, we've all done the collecting, the data collecting.
Okay.
Because this is the Cosmic Surfers footage.
Oh, is it? I didn't know about him. Okay.
Yeah, you want to check him out? He's in Cape Town. But
yeah, I remember hearing about him now. Yeah.
The red line's now at the bottom, because there's your northern scan line. There's your southern scan line. But these lines are always the same lines. We just pull them up and down, the crossing points.
What period is that again? Sorry, how long is that?
14 days.
14 days, okay.
Yeah, but they've been running. We've had cameras running. Like I say, my one's been going now for about
a year, you said, yeah.
Over a year, about 15 months. Just every day. You know, I haven't got every minute, every single day, because the card gets full if I don't notice it.
Yeah,
I'll miss a day here and there, or if something happens with, you know, it's a bit of.
Or it's cloudy or something. Yeah.
Well, even cloudy days, I've got them, but yeah, every, you know, I'll just leave it on, get what I can get. But this is, like I say, that's these are the lines, and you just click hold of it in the center, drag it up, or drag it down to the horizon.
What's that dotted green line through the middle? Is that the horizon? Is it?
Yeah.
So the line
you're looking at a 360 image flat.
Oh, so of course, yeah, okay.
When you view these in your headset, your VR headset, it is no different than looking around in your room, apart from it's a little bit less clarity. So these lines are just around me when I put the headset on. I'll show you, well, you've probably all seen the video, but I'll show you. And again, when you're in the headset, I'm filming it, what I see in the headset. And this is just how we do it. This is a track. We add the lines. You see, this is nearer to what we call the equator, because the lines are, you know, when you're under the equator, the moon will come straight up, out, over your head, and back down. That's where the true equator is, where the sun literally, on the equinox, it will go right over your head, come out in a straight line to the east, rise and set in the west.
And do you do this? Is this one done with your headset thing, or this is what you've done with the computer? Just asking, Stan.
No, this is what someone's recorded in Guam. This is Guam. You know, the little American island. They've been having a bit of trouble, haven't they?
Oops.
But yeah, someone's set up a camera out there on the roof of their car. Little bit of footage. We've worked out what day it was, set the lines accordingly, and that's where it is. And then you rotate the image, and then the amount of rotation given tells us our latitude.
So you're about 50 degrees north, aren't you, Stan? 50, 51 in between.
Well, that's what we're told. I think it's about 47.
Do you?
Going by what we've looked at. This is mine. I can't remember exactly what it was, but the amount of rotation might have been less. I can't remember. But yeah, this is how the ancients knew where they were. This was common knowledge. That's why there's astro
the sun and the moon come up from, basically this is sort of recording that the sun and the moon come out of the ground and go into the ground.
The sun and the moon do some crazy things, but they follow these paths. But the sun appears to have a wider band. It's like the lines lower and higher, but the equinox is still the same, it appears. But
when you say the same, you mean the same for the moon and the sun?
Yeah, but we haven't, you know, that's just from what I've looked at. We haven't got images like this of, there you go, that's how it is.
You quite like the moon, don't you,
well, the sun's so much harder to track, isn't it? It's so much glary, and these cameras just struggle with the glare. So we went for the moon.
You picked the moon on purpose then, really, because it was easier to track.
But we've got a lot of these images now, but we still need a lot more. So this is a better camera. It shows up stars. And this one.
Wow, the stars are going straight across there.
That's because we've rotated the image. When you see that in a VR, it's no different than that. It shows the same image. It's just it's rotated. So
everybody sees the same thing in their own perspective. So that's your perspective in your perspective bubble, and everybody else sees exactly the same thing in their perspective bubble. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is stranger than fiction, really. This is the US, same thing. Again, like, we did work it all out, and I knew it all, but I don't remember the amount of rotation.
It says Isle of Wight at the top, Stan.
No, that one's US. It's because the first picture's Isle of Wight.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
They are.
Because I can't remember seeing that scenery on the Isle of Wight.
So this works better because you've got the dark sky, in other words, then really, because the moon is also quite bright, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's the dark sky that helps.
The moon's the one to be watching with a 360.
So Stan's come on today because he hopes that other people will be interested in 360. And again, I'll just put his email back in the chat room. And anybody that wants to know any information, just write to Stan.
Well, if anyone wants, you know, any help setting up a camera or...
Can you just explain that these things are not that expensive to buy, Stan?
No, they're quite cheap now. You know, you can buy mega expensive ones if you've got loads of money to burn, which will be pretty awesome. But the ones I'm using, you can buy for between $50 to $200, $300 now. They're not expensive. The Samsung VR, like the Gear, is the one to have really for price and everything. But really, you need a Samsung phone for it all to work.
Oh, so you need a phone and a camera.
Yeah.
And a computer, I assume.
Yeah. I've spent quite a bit on stuff. But I wanted to know, you know. So it depends what you want to know, you know. Do you want a new car or do you want to know?
Well, say you put like a 64 gigabyte card in there. How long will that last?
About, depending on what camera, because there's two different cameras. If I go through that, I'll show you the cameras. Oh, this is the one that I've been using, but I've also used that one. But this is the real dirt cheap one. This is the Chinese one, and you can use this with a laptop or anything, your phone, a tablet. It will, as long as it's got a Wi-Fi connection, it will connect to that.
Stan, Half-Truth Engineer says in the chat room, that's interesting, Stan. We're looking for advice for our project. Thanks for the email. So, yeah, good. That should be one email for you.
Splendid. Yeah, I'll get and check it out. Keep an eye on it for the next week because it's been a bit quiet lately. But yeah, these cameras are the way forward because you can freeze time at any minute and then look where you look at something, or you can rewind it and look at it a different way. And you know, you can't do that in reality. You can't go out there with a normal camera like a P900 or your phone and record stuff and then rewind it and look back at it behind you, what you missed, you know, or where the sun was and the moon or where everything was, you know. But with one of these you can.
So if these cameras are Wi-Fi, do you need an SD card or do you save it directly?
Yeah, what I do, I have it hooked up to my laptop via Wi-Fi, and then I record to the card in the camera. You can download it like over the Wi-Fi as well, but I don't because it just takes so long, whereas so much data. I just climb back up on the roof and pull it out and
I'll stick it in the computer.
Yeah, put it in. Put it over, and then yeah, that one it will, like I've got a 32 gig card and it lasts about 2-3 weeks.
As long as that's pretty good.
Yeah, maybe a little bit longer. But obviously this camera has got twin lens. It's got one at the front and then one at the back. So this one is a data eater, this thing. You'll get about a week and a half, 2 weeks out of a 32. And you've got to have a good card because they need a high...
Class 10 or something like that.
Yeah, they need a good... Well, I've got a Lexar card. It was about 70 quid for a 32 gig because it had a real high speed rate. Because I put a cheap one in them and they just wouldn't even copy that.
No, it's corrupt, don't they?
Yeah. But that's the two cameras, and then with this one, obviously you got the phone, and then this is the VR headset I've got. But you can get the newer camera, but they had a few problems with them. I don't know if they've sorted them out, but the newer ones, they do connect with iPhones. I read, not that I've got one. That's just what you read on the internet, which could be a load of rubbish. But yeah, with these, it's
data storage actually, because I've got a GoPro, and every 17 minutes of video is 4 gigabytes on the GoPro camera.
yeah, but I'm time lapsing.
So it's just pictures, yeah.
Yeah, a time lapse is over. I do every 5 seconds. It takes a pic.
So pictures are about 2.5 megabytes or something stupid.
It makes it. It compiles it into a video for me.
Oh, it does it automatically. Okay.
Yeah, it's got all time lapse settings on it, which is really good, you know. But yeah, this one you really need the phone though to connect it. You know, it doesn't like being. Well, you can, you know, but really to get the best out of one of them cameras, you do need a S7 Samsung or something from Samsung that will connect to that. I presume the S8 does, or newer, you know, the newer ones, the Notes and that.
I noticed, Dan, you do like videos of the so like morning to night, don't you? The clouds.
Yeah, every day I've got a time lapse going.
What sort of cameras do you use for that?
I use my old S5 Samsung phones.
So you're taking pictures every minute or so?
I just downloaded an app again. It said, back in the day, it was before I got in, you know, into the 360 cameras. I was just like, man, I'm sick of these chemtrails. I'm going to start videoing them every day.
Yeah, you're doing like a 12-hour. Well, it's not 12 hour at the moment, but it's
Yeah, I just do. Well, they're on all the time as well. I just stop them every day when it goes dark, and then upload what I've recorded.
So how many sort of like what sort of frame rate are you doing? How many pictures a second or minute or whatever?
5 seconds again.
Every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Because they're like about 4 minutes in videos, aren't they?
Yeah, in the winter they're 4 minutes, and the summer they're about 8.
Okay. I always watch them on double speed.
Yeah. I just put them up how they are, you know.
That's amazing. You do all that stuff. It's a lot of work.
I don't know. It doesn't take that long.
I didn't quite think about. It's not that I don't know it, because I can see the chemtrails up there. But the one thing I heard you say months ago was real clouds roll and chemtrails are just a mist which sort of blurs past.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I was going to say earlier. You know, you look at a real cloud, and they roll. They're not stagnant in the air.
That's because they're forming. They're always forming, and then
they just roll, don't they? They're on. It looks to me like they're hitting something and just rolling and rolling. You know, they're like dissolving and forming all the time, aren't they?
I normally go up above the clouds and in the cloud. Well, I can't say that. Around the clouds, around that size. That sounds better.
It's just something people aren't thinking about, are they? If they actually just thought, even that bit, oh look, those clouds are rolling. Oh look, all day nothing's been rolling. It's just a blur. It's like they're making smog, but just a little bit higher off the ground, isn't it? It's like they're making an artificial smog all the time.
They're definitely spraying some rubbish up there. But yeah, this is another thing we've been looking at, is altitude 360. You see that all right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
is that the moon, the bright light in the middle, or is that the sun?
I believe that's the sun.
Okay. Because it's blue. The background looked blue, so I'm assuming it's daytime.
But there's stuff going on here when you zoom in. That's where the horizon should be, and that's where it is.
What does that mean then?
Well, you know, that's on a 360 camera. They always say, don't they, flat Earth horizon rises to eye level. They don't. It's flat, but it does not rise. All you know, there's something going on here that we haven't quite worked out yet. It's not
because you had those other pictures, didn't you, where they were taking pictures, or you had all these pictures and you had them in about 6 of them, didn't you? It was the same thing about the horizon was going up, like it was wrong. All the horizons were wrong. Was it from the ISS or something?
Yeah, I've shown you this before.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, there's, you know, like once you know how these cameras work, the center is the center because it's a ball. You see everything around you. It's a 360 by 360 degree video. But there is
What you're saying is wrong then, Stan. Is there something? Oh, there you go. That's it.
yeah, well, if you look here, so at 43 kilometers, it's bang on the center. At 30 kilometers, there's a drop. 40 kilometers, you know, it's not as much as 30 yet. 43, 30, 10, there's a little one. 50, but you look at 50 compared to 30.
So what is that telling us then, Stan?
Well, I don't know.
Are these pictures you've taken, Stan, or are these things you found?
These are what other people have done and we have
Okay.
analysed, but they're, you know, a 360 image is a 360 image, and it's a lot harder.
These look like they're taken from some sort of altitude.
Yeah, they are, right? That's altitude. That's the different heights and altitude.
Oh, well,
These
they're
are
on
taken
balloons,
from,
sorry.
yeah, from balloons.
Okay.
So there's something going on here that we can quite, we haven't worked out yet. We need more of everything, really, you know.
You've got different days, of warmer days, cooler days. So you've got different atmospheric pressures and stuff, haven't you?
That's one thing we've thought about, and also light, different latitudes might do different things with magnetic forces or whatever's going on. You know, there's something going on there.
So if the camera pictures are taken on balloons, how do you know that the camera's level in relation to the horizon?
Because they got built-in gyros on these cameras.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Stan. The one on the left. Look, those are hot clouds there. Look at those ridge clouds on the 43. Look at that.
Mm.
Ugh.
Yeah, there's something going on there.
So what you're hoping is that maybe more people in the chat room will be a bit more interested in the 360, and you'd like more people and to hopefully to buy them or get them.
Well, that's it. You never would have noticed this with a normal camera because you can't work out where the horizon is. But with a 360 camera, you can. And that's what we're sort of saying. It's, you know, your P900's a great bit of kit. Anything that can zoom in like that and look at stuff on the horizon, we're starting to look at sort of having a 360 image that then you can click on and zoom into certain points on the 360 to see what's going on.
You've got a
using
P900
P900.
as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
Mm. But you need these cameras are showing you something different.
But you need your 360 for a base to work your P900 from, in a way. Because it's like all of them images I was showing a minute ago with the moon. We could, from timestamps, put on videos on that line to show how the moon was rotated, so on and so forth. You know, you could have a times 83 2-minute video every moon. You could click on it, it could be a video, could be done. You know, this 360 stuff, what we're thinking is we will eventually have, it will be like, there'll be an app or something that people will be able to put on goggles and look at stuff that we're looking at and comment on it, and, you know, but it'll be hopefully, you know, not controlled. It'll be done by us. It's a lot of work.
There's 2 full moons next month, Stan, in March. So you have a blue moon at the end of the month. Again. Another blue moon.
Yeah, so this stuff is real interesting, you know. The 360. I'll show you some of the stuff we're doing with the 360.
Yeah, you've got some amazing videos.
The P900, sorry.
Obviously, I've put the link to your channel in the description if anybody wants to go and have a look at Stan's videos, his time lapses. And in there are his 360 cameras videos as well.
So this is some of the P900 stuff we've been doing. This is Sandra's playlist. P900 Sandra, you must have seen her in chat.
Yeah, she was in chat a little while ago.
So we all film the moon together at the same time. Go outside, set a tripod up on the hour usually, film the moon. And we do this from all around the world. Like everywhere. This is my one. Then you've got Cosmic Surfer, Z Proxy, Luke Marsh, he does it. There's a few of us that are pretty keen on it. We're out there all the time, you know, every hour when it's out. And you get to see the rotation of the moon through the night. Like if you look here, like, let's go get it. You see the rotation. See, with the P900s, you can collect a lot of data if you use it correctly. Now, what we do, we set them up and we leave them on the tripod, and it's set at 83 times zoom. It's on moon mode. There's loads of settings that are just turned off, so we're all on the same setup. Everyone films it exactly the same way, and then we just leave.
83 times zoom then, because I've seen a lot when I've seen videos what people use, they always say 83 times. What is that then?
That is the maximum amount of zoom before you go digital with that camera. Anything after this you can do afterwards. You can zoom in on this image and make it bigger. You know, you can zoom in and it's no different than doing it on the PC. So what you do... You
don't want it to go digital then? You want it to stay manual then?
Yeah, you just want the maximum amount of zoom out of that camera. And also it's a nice size because on the 83 times zoom, the moon just fits in the screen most of the time. Do you get me? And with
Yeah.
that, if you're always on the same amount of zoom, you can tell if the moon's got bigger, smaller, all sorts of things. Because sometimes on a supermoon, it doesn't fit the screen. It's like I'm on the same amount of zoom, yet it's larger than the screen. So you know it's a big moon, or you know if it's a small moon. And then with this as well, where it starts there, I leave it till it gets to the end of the screen. So it comes from this side to that side. So now I can look at that. I know the time was 8 o'clock. It was the 1st of February 2018, and the moon took that amount of time, and it was that big. And then that's a sync shot. So Luke's probably done that. Cosmic Surfer might have it. Sandra's probably definitely got it. Z Proxy might have it. You know, there's a few people that have joined. I think there's 20 people now. I can't remember all of them, but they're the ones that are out all the time. And yeah, we just do it all through the night. The moon's up and we're awake. We're out there every hour filming. Well, this one ain't even on the hour. You know, this is at 21 minutes past 5. Must have been a bit cloudy, so I was just nipping out when I could. But my 360 camera is also running on the roof.
Only for the first.
So
8th
we've
of
got
January.
no, it's the, it goes 29th for the 1st.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Goes backwards with this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got a 360 running on the roof, which is also set to the same time as my P900. So from that timestamp there, I could work out from the timestamp on the 360, and then you'd know where the moon was. That's how it's rotated. That's the size.
Stan, how do your photos compare to what's the guy from South Africa? Is it Z Proxy?
Cosmic Surfer.
Cosmic Surfer. Where's that big crater, Taco, at the bottom on your picture? It looks like exactly like pictures I take from the moon, because obviously yours is a few miles away. But is it different for him?
Yeah.
Does he have it more to the left?
More rotation. It's not rotation of the moon though, it's rotation of what we call like the bubble. It's like a bubble that's moving around you as you move. Well, it's not moving, it's rotating. So the more you go
You mean your perspective
south,
bubble? You mean your perspective bubble? That thing, yeah.
Yeah, I've got friends in Australia. They take pictures of the moon as well, and it moves the other way.
yeah, so this is Cosmic Surfer, see?
So let's
Whoa.
see where Taco is.
So it's
And
rotated.
his moon's going the other way.
It's not quite 180 though.
But he's not on the equator, is he? He's north of it.
South.
But the moon's going left, and
Yeah,
Stan's moon goes right, and his moon's going left. Is that right?
Yeah, but that's rotation,
Right.
which is explained by the 360 stuff. If I show you what I see in a VR headset.
I love this. This is such an amazing video, and the music's really good, but you can't play the music.
See, them lines earlier, Bri, that I was showing on that, you know, just that photo of lines. This is that photo of lines, how you view it in a VR headset.
Okay.
So this is like, I can't see anything else but this.
Is that green dotted line, is that like the horizon or whatever you want to call it?
Yeah. So you're basically in a different realm when you put that headset on. You go into this world of virtual stuff where you create what you know, and then you can put these images of reality and then lay stuff over them, so you can then view what the hell's going on.
I remember a Red Dwarf series back in the 80s, and they had a series called Better Than Life. It went with the simulation thing and played out these characters. Do you remember that series, Red Dwarf?
Yeah, I do, but I don't remember that episode.
Oh, it's a brilliant one. It's called
After
Better Than Life. Google it later if you after the show.
But this is South Africa, Cape Town. It's, you know, it's rotated. These lines, they just rotate. So if I travelled north, which is, I don't think, this way, they would just pull up and over with me. That's how it's working. That's how they used to navigate around. That's how an astrolabe works. If you don't know what one of them is, have a look afterwards. Astrolabe.
Why does this the snow look green? Is that an effect of the camera?
Yeah, must be the time of night, the picture.
Okay, because I've seen blue shadows from a live camera watching Maine in Brownville of deers and that, and they have like blue shadows on the snow.
See, that's Polaris.
Oh, in the centre, yeah.
Yeah, and it just all.
How long is that over? Why you've got circles? Is it?
That's a time lapse overnight.
How long?
Must be a long one because there's a lot of moon. But it's one night. There's the moon.
So it fades out when the sunlight blocks it, basically, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that the camera moving, or is that?
That's me moving and looking around the photo. You know, the photo is.
You're looking for your camera thing, are you? Your 3D camera thing.
I'm looking through the headset. I've got the headset on and the image. I'm looking at the image, but in the headset, you can look about the image. It becomes around you. You see as if you're stood there.
Okay, I was a bit confused by that. Sorry.
Yeah, but this is a time lapse of the sky. You know, this is one stacked image of the ground, but then all the
relayed or whatever.
Yes, stacked. And that's how it does it.
Wow. Fascinating.
It is. It's quite incredible when you see it like that. I mean, most people with P900 are filming the sun. If they're by the water, it's going down or coming up out of, well, looking like it's coming up out of the water.
See, if you look here as well, there's no depth for a globe. If it was a globe, let's go back. If it was a globe, you'd have less track, you know? There'd be less above, there'd be more below than above, but there's not. It's like half and half.
What's that saying? As above, so below.
That's what I thought when I started doing this. I was like, huh. That's Dubai. That's just one night. Alaska. See how it's a lot lower. But that's what I'm viewing in the headset is these images. And then where you look around, you know, you just see as if you were looking around. But where it's a 360, you see You can look anywhere you like at any given time. It's like having, it's like being, it's been out of, yeah, it's been out of pause reality.
Yeah, it's like a great amount of time relayed in one photo.
Yeah, which you can't watch the moon unless you know, we would never have discovered this without a 360 camera. Never. We were out there for months with P900s going, what is it? What's going on? What the hell? Blah, blah, blah. And then
it's like Star Trek pictures, isn't it? You can see them on, you can search for thousands of them on the internet.
Yeah, but you only get a small window, don't you? You're only basically with you're looking at that, or you're looking at that.
But
do you get me? Or you know, you're not looking.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, I'm just pointing out the fact that you couldn't physically see it with your eyes. You can only see it from a photograph that's been mixed with other photographs or over a time lapse to see what's happened in the past, in the future, not in the future, but over a period of time, I mean to say.
Yeah, you just wouldn't get this sort of information without this camera, you know.
Back in the 80s, I used to do photographs of car lights on roundabouts and that, just long exposures where you get like big blurry lights, and they were pretty impressive. But that's something you can't physically experience, but you can only experience it through photography.
Same with this, you know, you'd never see this.
No, you'd never see it in your life. No.
That is how it's.
Yeah.
You know, that's how it's moving. That's what is going on above your head. This is reality.
It looks almost like a cylinder, not a cylinder. What's the word?
It's like a globe. You know, the sky's a globe and the world's flat and it rotates.
But it's not a perfectly round globe, is it? It's a pointy globe. It's higher at the top than it is at the side.
Don't know.
Or is that just how I'm seeing it? I don't know.
No, I don't know. There's still things. You know, it does look like a globe though, the sky. That's how they fed you half a light, you know. It's
like looking at the inside of a tyre, isn't it? From
that's what we were calling it at first. The tyre tray.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
But now we call it scan lines because it just looks like scan lines of the moon.
But how do you get the lines that go below the ground if you can't physically see them until they're below the ground? Are you just interpreting them?
Yeah, that's where it would be.
So how can you prove that? I'm not questioning you.
Well, it's just how when we move these lines, when you go either more south or more north or wherever. If you go more north, they lay down more to the horizon. If you go more south, they rise up until they're straight line above you.
So the lines you've got below the ground that you couldn't physically see, but we can see them on the picture.
That's just where it would, you know.
That's where you believe they might be, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's where stars are, because you know, but that's where that's why this is all dotted out, you know. But that's where the moon would rise, and it would set. You know, it's set over it.
Okay, I'm just asking. So I wasn't sure.
No, that's what I'm just saying though. You know, you can't prove that it's there, but that's how it's working. That's how it fits.
Yeah, you're just adding up the lines that you've got based on the ones you haven't got. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
But
it's still kind of what the P900s.
Sorry.
The P9, like Judith, constantly filming the sun or the moon going. I mean, I know it actually isn't, but the rendering of this thing is going into the sea or coming out of the sea because she lives near the sea. So just like, you know, that in her perspective, there it is going down or coming up out of the land or the sea. Just like this, but this records it as a sort of graph, doesn't it? Just a different kind of graph. I think it's amazing, Stan. We do appreciate what you do, because there aren't many people like you doing this, are there?
Well, as far as I'm aware, we're the only people to have done this.
Well, that's incredible in itself. You should be so proud of yourselves, all of you.
Well, civilians anyway.
To think that, you know, what we're living in, they say, oh, we're in the 21st century, whatever it is, oh, we're so advanced, and we don't even know how anything works.
Crazy, isn't it?
I think if people haven't seen, yeah, it might blow their mind when they see some of this stuff.
Well, I'd just say to people, you know, you want to prove me wrong, put up a camera and check for yourself, because that's what's happening. Go away and I don't want people to believe me, you know. I want them to go away and do this for themselves. Check it, make sure I'm right, you know. You know, it could be some things where we're slightly off on this and off on that. We're just, you know, really, we were just three normal people that wanted to know what the hell was going on. You're never going to get told it. That's one thing we know for sure. You need to go out there and do stuff for yourself. You know, there's that old saying, you want something done right, but you do it yourself.
When you started this, did you think it was going to turn into this, or did you know it was going to be like this? It was just this way was proving what you could see.
I didn't have a clue.
No.
I sat there one night. You know, I'm a builder, so all my life I've dealt with levels and stuff, and I've always thought, man, these levels and this ball, this is tripping me out. Like, either this level is really clever and it knows when I've moved around the globe, you know, gravity and all of this stuff. And I was like, there's just, all my life I used to think about it, and being surrounded by the sea, I used to look out and think, well, if it's curved that way, surely this should be curved left and right. You know, you should be able to see something. And then I went on a plane and someone said to me, did you see the curve of the earth then? I went, nah. Didn't even think about it no more. Just nah. And then, yeah. I sat there about 2.5 years ago, whatever it was now. And I was just bored one night and I thought I'd chuck on some YouTube. I just typed in documentary and up come the greatest secret ever told. So I clicked on it and it was a flat earth video. Didn't even know it was, like, you know, just hidden. So I started watching it thinking, yeah, whatever. Right, I can debunk this straight away, do you know what I mean? Where's my book? Get my book out. Sat there, started doing the maths for the globe and everything, and it was like, the more I dug into it, the more I thought, oh man, there's just more holes in this. And by 6 o'clock in the morning, I didn't sleep all that night, and I was pretty much a flat earther.
Yes, for a lot of us, it's very quickly, isn't it? Once you just put that 1 and 1 or whatever it is together.
You know, I'd say it was about 6 hours of watching videos thinking, really? Well, that's all been done and tested and people still think you're spinning, righto. And then I sat there thinking, well, I ain't moving. And then I started thinking about weights and gravity and everything. And I was just like, aeroplanes, man, like boats, this submarines, lighthouses, you know, common sense just all of a sudden just smacked me in the face. And I was like, righto. So where are we then? What is this? What is actually going on?
Well, we're not moving, are we?
Anyway, I've got to go soon. Nice talking to you people.
All right, Brian.
I was going to actually just suggest, okay, you've got all these people with their P900 cameras and they're like pointing it to a landmass at say 30 miles away, and they're trying to discover what part of the building is hidden by the supposed curvature. Now, don't look at it that way. Look at it from left to right. Now, if you're pointing the camera towards a landmass 30 miles away, and technically, even if you've got a 45-degree view, you've got 60 miles of view left to right. Now, study it left to right rather than front to back or front to forward. Do you know what I mean?
That's what a 360 does. It just looks everywhere, doesn't it?
Yeah. Anyway.
Right, Brian.
Nice talking to you, mate.
And you, man.
And sorry, I don't know your name.
Lev. Nice one, Brian.
Oh, Lev. Yeah, I've spoken to you before. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a funny name.
Yeah.
It's not English. Is it English? I don't know.
I don't know where it comes from, actually. No.
And it's nice talking to you all, and I'll see you again soon. Good evening, everyone.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks,
No problem.
SKYFLY.
Love you all.
Take care, mate.
Earth hugs to you.
Bye.
Bye, darling.
But yeah, this is more P900 stuff. Filming the sun, we're starting to look at the rotation in the sun throughout the day, because that's got clear rotation, the same as the moon has.
Yeah. Are you doing the sunspots, Stan?
Yeah, doing sunspots now as well. And Sandra and a few others.
Somebody else who might be able to help you with that, if you heard of him, is Robert Kidner. I can give you his yeah, he's pretty good. He's monitoring those sunspots in Mexico.
Yeah, that's something I'd like to get, speak to him. We could do a few sync shots together if he's got a P900 and see the difference in rotation.
I'll give you his channel name afterwards.
But this is something we've just started, the sun stuff, because you need filters and
Yeah.
it's a bit harder to get the spots than it is film the moon. The moon's easy.
Yeah, because he was talking the other day with Judith, and her spots are in a different place to his. When they start off and go across, his are sort of more to the left, and hers. Anyway, yeah. And there's Judith as well. She might be
rotation. They'll look rotated. Like you'll be able to rotate this image 5 degrees, 10 degrees, 20 degrees, however many degrees, and it should line up from what we've been looking at. But this is what we're going to prove now, one way or another. It will or it won't. That's why we need more people with the P900s to get involved as well, because there's, it's the one of the, how many have been sold? Thousands. Where is everyone with the P900? They should all be out collecting data. So I'll work it out.
Do you
a bit of work.
Do you notice any differences with like those equinoxes that the moon has? Because I've said this before, when it's on the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn on these equinoxes, and I've seen the moon drag the stars around. I know it's a bit difficult, I think, on a camera, because like I was going to think of trying to film it on my phone, but what would it have meant to anybody? It wouldn't have meant anything. You almost need the whole sky to be able to see this, not just this little bit in my camera. It means nothing, that, does it? But I just couldn't believe that the moon was dragging. I think that's what changes the stars in the sky is this moon. And again, like you're doing this work with your 360 camera, and so no one else is really doing that. Don't you think that's incredible? I mean, how many people live in the world and you're the only one doing it? I mean, it was all new to me.
There's others doing it, but they're not aware really of what they're doing, That they're only time lapse in the sky. They just got a camera, chuck it out. Oh look, I can film the moon. Not really consciously doing it for a reason, just doing it. You know, and
My daughter's playing
that's
her
what
music
we've
now.
found.
Turn it
Well,
down.
we found a lot of data that way. You know, people that have just put up a video of the sky and it's got the moon in it. So we look at it, analyze it, and come up with where they are. Now we know how it's working.
Well, I'm really hoping that with today that few people in the chat room might be able to help you, you know, by getting 360 cameras. I mean, if you've got the money,
you know, get the P900 out if you've got one of them. Come film the sun, do the sunspots with us, because that, you know, you can see a lot of stuff from the rotation of the face of the sun or the face of the moon.
You need a lens for that, don't you, though? You know, filter, don't you?
For the sun, but not for the moon.
Mm.
You know, we're seeing some pretty awesome stuff with the moon, how it's rotating, and still throws questions, what the hell is going on? But we need more people to gather more stuff to look at, to get an insight on what's going on. And really, you need a VR headset to then look back at what we're trying to show you, because
How
you're
much
never
does the
gonna.
headset cost then, Stan?
Well, they used to be really expensive, but then white ones, like I showed earlier, if you've got the phone, they're like 40 quid now tops, new, 45
Really?
quid. Yeah, it's like there's no excuse not to have one. You know, I put it off. It's like, oh, VR. But yeah, if you use it as what they want you to use it for and get lost in dreamland and la and whatever, then yeah, they're not that good, are they? They're going to be a bad thing. But if you use it as a tool, how we are, they are a great tool.
Well, I've been putting your email out periodically, like once every few minutes, into the chat room. So hopefully people will, get in touch with you.
There you can see the spots.
Even if they don't get everything today, then you can explain it a bit more. Maybe just get a few more people interested. But people are stuck on the P900s, aren't they, really?
Well, that's the thing with the VR stuff. Like, once you see it for yourself, then you don't need it explaining to you. You know, that's why I say I don't want people to really take my word for it. Go and have a look for yourself. Put up a camera.
What is that
that's
you're
the only
showing?
way.
Sunspots.
That's the sun.
Why is it black? Why is it black? Because you've zoomed in.
Well, the sky.
Yeah.
Because the filter.
It just looks like the sun is like a hole, doesn't it? And that's what's going past is in the hole.
Yeah, I'm still trying to work it all out. But I have ideas. But once you can prove something, it's proven it.
Do you think those clouds which are sort of black but are see-through, they give you the best thing to work with? Not the white clouds or the heavy white clouds, but when I was filming and doing things, those black clouds, but they're still see-through, even though they're kind of black. You can see much more through them. You just can, even though they're black.
Yeah, I can look at the sun if I want to with my eyes now, but I'm not saying to people go out and look at the sun, but I can look at straight at the sun. See the spots?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we're doing now. We're taking note of the spots on the sun and then gonna see how they are rotating, because they are definitely rotating. We've seen that today, just in the few shots we've taken today.
So where are your ones in the morning to the evening then?
Well, in the morning they're up higher, and throughout the day they rotate. It's like the moon. It's doing the same as the moon. But then I have a different rotation to Sandra, who's in Blackpool, and I'm on the Isle of Wight. So there's, you know, that's not that big a distance.
No.
Yeah, me and Sandra, we don't have the same face of the sun or the moon. There's a different rotation with it.
Well, even that short distance.
North. I don't know what's going on with that. That's something else. We need more people that are, you know, so she's Blackpool, so she's west, so it'd be nice to have someone east.
That's incredible when it's not that far, isn't it? Though.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I still think it'd be great if there was one on top of my house, to be honest. But again, how many days of the year would I ever see the Big Dipper doing what it's doing, because it's just so cloudy all the time? Do you find that frustrating, Stan, when you know what you could do with all this and it's just so much cloud?
Yeah, but I'll just do what I can. Have a day off. Go and look at what I've filmed and what other people have filmed and analyse it. And, you know, you need time to look at stuff. There's no point just filming and filming and filming and filming and filming and then never processing what you've looked, you know, never paying attention, not looking back. So when I can film, I film, and when I can't, I don't, and I look at stuff. I don't usually just watch random flat earth stuff no more, because a lot of it is same stuff rehashed different ways. You know, I'll just go back at what we've collected and look at stuff we've done, or I do, you know, certain videos I watch if I get sent an interesting one or something. I've been watching a lot of Egyptian stuff though lately. And the Mayans and stuff, the Mayan calendar and everything, and they knew about the rotations of the sky and the movements of it. They'd studied it for years by the looks of it.
Yeah, it seems that everybody else used to know how it did work, and now we seem to have forgotten most things or everything.
The great cycle in the sky, isn't it? Big time cycle.
Do you find it frustrating with all the clouds, or you just have to carry on because you can't change the weather? But it must be frustrating. You know, imagine how much.
It's just how it is, isn't it? You can't change nothing.
Is it just as cloudy for you where you are? Because I know that you're just slightly off the UK on a little island called the Isle of Wight. Does it make any difference being there to being on the mainland or not? Too close?
Well, I don't know. I just get on, you know. I try not to let things really bother me. Not since I found out the world was flat and everything was a lie. It's like, whatever then, you know. Once you deal with that, it's like you could pretty much deal with anything, can't you?
Does it make any difference being on the Isle of Wight with weather? I'm just asking because you're just slightly. You're only a few. How many miles is the Isle of Wight from the UK mainland?
I think it's 2 miles.
It's not far enough, then, is it really?
I'm 2 miles from Southampton, or 3 miles.
Yeah, I like the Isle of Wight when I've been to it. The only thing is you can't really drive that fast on there, can you? And you can do the whole island in a day driving round. It's not that many miles, is it?
No, it's not that far really. There's a few spots you can wind it on the island if you want to.
I said I'd really like to put one on top of my roof and capture that Big Dipper bending round the corners. You know, excuse me. I don't see it quite with. I mean, I know what you're saying about the sky being like that, but I see stars coming sort of. What do you call it? Coming left, and I've got stars going. Sorry, coming in at angles, like say north, east coming in, and then you've got stars going east to west, and you've got this Big Dipper bending around the corners. I mean, that one definitely defies everything. It just, wow. But
I don't mean to be rude, but I am going to have to shoot off in a sec because Puppy's just started whining. She's been ever so good. Let me sit here for about 2.5, 3 hours, but now she's starting to kick off.
Oh, well,
I don't want to waken up all the neighbours.
We've been going for a few hours today. Everybody else is asleep. In fact, I went for a snooze because obviously we've done so many hangouts and we're up for so many hours. We're just tired. And I woke up with about 10, 15 minutes before I needed to make the hangout. Judith was, I'll see you in an hour or so, but I think she's still asleep. We're just so tired. But yeah, we've been getting on for 2.5 hours now. So maybe tonight we'll end it today. But I'm very grateful you've come on. They're amazing videos, Stan. They always amaze me every time I see them. I'm just putting your email again in the chat room.
Spread the word every time someone comes on, you know, pilot or someone. Say to them, if you got a 360 camera yet, why not? You should get one. You know, I'll say it to everyone. Have you got one yet? No, get one.
Yeah, it's much more important than we think it is, in a sense. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like a name of a camera, but you can put so much together. Just asking you before you go, how many countries have you got this sort of 360 stuff from? What does it tell you with what you've got already then?
Well, we can see how it's moving. We know what's going on. We just need more of it to piece together the puzzle. You know, it's not going to work itself out. No one's going to come along and tell you everything. This is something that's going to have to be a conjoint effort from everyone to work this out.
And again, just to reiterate that, obviously you can spend a lot of money on a 360 camera, but they're not too expensive. Could you just explain that one more time, like how much roughly they are, the cheaper ones?
Only from 50 to 200, 300. Depends what you want. I've got 3 of them. All different ones I've got. So I wanted to make sure that they all show the same.
And on your roof, if anybody did get one, what do you have to do? Put it in the middle of their roof, or it doesn't matter as long as it's pointing sort of up or out? Just
don't even have to be on the roof. You know, you can do it from your back garden as long as you get a half track or a decent. You know, we want really a decent bit of tracking, but even if you just get a portion of your skylight, a half of it or a third or whatever, anything, just do it.
Okay, and I'm just going to put it back in the chat room again with your email address, and anybody who's interested, please, Stan is please anybody help get these cameras and go to him.
Get a headset as well. You need the headset to see what's going on, because me telling you, I can only explain it in my way. You know, everyone else will look at it and see it in their way. Do you get me? Like, there's bits that other people are going to look at that I haven't noticed yet, and that's why we need, you know, it's 2018 now, so we're told, so get a VR headset. Everyone.
My son's just got one, but it's just for the computer, isn't it? Because if it had been like an ordinary one, I'd have said, can I borrow it?
You can view images on a PlayStation one.
What? Really?
Yeah. just put them onto the PlayStation and then view them from there. Computers,
Oh, I see.
anyone, like as long as you can upload a photo to it to be viewed, you can view it. Yeah, anyone can message Sandra as well. Sandra's in the chat. I talk to Sandra every day, almost every day. She's a keen mooner. She's top mooner, she is.
Well, I've been putting your email address in, so I hope that you get some emails there, Stan. This I should put in the link, shouldn't I, on the actual post? I should put your email address there, so I'm going to add that to the post before we go. But on that note, you want to go, don't you, Stan? And
Yeah,
I
I'll go
probably
and
think
sort the pup out.
we'll end this hangout. We just say goodbye off air, and we'll end this hangout. Lev, thank you very much. Stan, thank you so much. Amazing, always amazing when you show us what you've been doing. Thank you to Lady Copilot, an artist who's got a problem. It kicked him off a few times and he couldn't get back on. So I think he's downloading Google Hangouts again. Who else has been on? I think that's it, isn't it, today? And everybody else is asleep. Thank you to everybody again. I don't think we're there tomorrow. We're back on Sunday now with Artist and Angel Night. So thank you very much, everybody, and see you then.
Lovely.
So it's
Splendid.
bye.
Cheers. Thanks, Karen.
Thank you, Stan. Thank you, Lev. Bye, everybody.